Alright, so last time you saw me cut this piece to hell, and I messed up, so I had to buy a new winch mounting plate, so that's what's in this box right here. I found one that I didn't have to do any cutting at all to. Apparently somebody makes one already that fits in between that space. Here's my winch, and I gotta move some cars around. There's a little bit of wind, and I don't want any complaints, so I'm gonna move the ZJ out over there, and then I'm gonna move the JK right up in the garage a little bit. And yeah, man, I gotta get an 8-slot grill for this thing. Yeah. Alright, so as you saw last time, I hacked this thing to pieces. I cut off these corners off of my precious bumper. Shout out to depreciation. But anyways, I want to give this a coat of black. This is really just rusted, like a lot of surface rust on here, so I want to get rid of all that. So I'm going to sand it down really light and then hit it with some black spray paint. And then also, you guys will see this next week, but I'll be replacing this this sway bar bushing. This one is cracked really bad. I don't know if you can see that. It shouldn't look like that. And see, it's cracking pretty bad. So I want to go pick up some of those. So next video, next Monday, you'll see that. But for this week, we're going to be installing the winch. So inside here, I forget who makes this. Maybe Olympic products, something like that. Anyways, so you have a plate right there. That's where the winch sits. Some brackets, some hardware. And for you guys that didn't see what winch I'm using the Smittybilt 9500 XRC winch. Super popular. It's like 300 bucks on Amazon. It's pretty sweet. Has a steel cable, but I have a bunch of synthetic stuff to convert it to synthetic. Here's the controller box. It came in a whole big box of stuff, but I didn't include that. I kind of took it all apart and dug through what I needed and what I didn't need. The fairlead was for the steel rope and all that stuff, so I just deleted that, threw it in my room, and so today hopefully we can get the winch installed, and maybe if the video is not too long by then we can do a synthetic rope conversion, but if not, we will just do that in another video. Maybe I'll do that next week, and then the week after that will be the sway bar bushing video. Anyways, so I'm going to start getting to work. Spray painting this first so I can have some time to dry. I'm not going to be Picasso with that. And then we can dive into this thing. First thing we're going to do is mount these brackets up here. This is what attaches, this is where the bumper will go in right here, and the winch will sit right here. Drop the washer on this bolt here, hopefully. Okay, put that through. Then we'll just attach this loosely. Probably have to do some fine adjustment. These are slotted holes, so might have to do some minor adjustment. I'm just going to drop all these in. Just put the nuts on, make sure they're on there. I'm going to do that on both sides. And then it should be time to pretty much mock it up with the frame and install it. Damn. Alright, I have these actually reversed. Fuck. Damn it. There are these sleeves that need to go into the frame right here. Underneath. And then goes through the second hole right here. So I'm gonna kind of set this like that. I can get this in place. I'm just gonna insert the screw through the back side so that I can just attach it with the nut on the other side. I'll keep repeating the process as long as it seems to be grinded out. I just beveled the edge just a little bit. I'm not going to touch this when it's super damn hot. It's probably a little toasty. Anyways, I'll check with you guys when it's time to put these this in. I'm not going to show you guys me grinding this down like 20,000 times anyways. This puppy, set this in here. Set that in there like that. Get that other washer. well as these nylon locking bolts. Put the bolt through, put the washer in, and the nylon locking nut. I'm not going to tighten these down just yet. Make sure everything is in place properly. Okay. Cool. Pretty much mock up my winch. I want to put my winch on here and then see if these holes line up. I might, hopefully they line up. I don't have to drill anything. Alright, so the holes don't line up exactly. As you can see, the only two holes there are these ones right there and right there, and mine falls perfectly in between. So, might have to drill. Actually, we are going to have to drill. Alright, so you just get this bolt, or this nut, slide it in like that, and then try to line it up the hole under. Sorry, my fat ass head is in the way. Alright, so now that's one. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the other four. These back ones are probably going to be pretty bad to get to, so I'll have to check in with you guys once I get those in. Instead of tightening everything first, I'm going to try to mock this bumper so everything fits properly. But as you can see, there's an issue here. I got to cut away some of this bumper. I actually got to cut away a lot. So what I'm going to do is just mark her roughly where she needs to go. Right there. I'm just going to cut them not too deep yet. I might have to cut pretty deep on here, but I'm just going to do it should only go about to right here, but I guess we'll have to see. Alright, so I already kind of pushed it in, kind of took a little bit of persuasion, but this is as far as the bumper will go forward. So what I'll need to do now is put on the bolts to bolt the bumper on, and then tighten up all the winch plate and winch bolts, and then I should be done with the winch mounting situation. After that will be the electrical portion. But this is how it looks. It's pretty good. I had to cut out some from the top and the bottom of the bumper, the little metal pieces in the inside, as well as this plastic. I will for sure have to cut a hole out here in the front for the line to come out, for the actual line to come out. So it is the next day. Last night there was really no light, so I couldn't really record anything, but I tightened all the bumper up and I tightened the winch plate mounting bolts, so everything is tight under there. But what I need to do today to finish off the install is take the bumper back off, refinish these edges in here. See that metal right there? I'm gonna refinish that, and I might actually do some more trimming to that, paint it black, and then I want to fit this piece back in here somehow. I might do some cutting, obviously, but I want to fit it back in there just to fill up some of these dead areas right here and over here. I just really don't like that look. We have to wire up the winch, and if we can get into it today, wire the inside the cab controller. I have switches for this. We also got to put in the fog lights and cut out for the fairlead we have. The one I have is from Factor55, one of those guys. You guys have seen one of those before. So I make a cutout for that, and also make a license plate bracket, or cut the hole for this. Say at Texas we had to have a front and a rear license plate, which is kind of stupid. So I gotta throw this on the bumper somehow. So we'll all figure that out. So I'm gonna take off the bumper and start getting to work, and then I'll talk to you guys when the time comes. Let me get into it. Okay, so I shifted the winch over. Now you remember I shifted it to the right, the hole's on the right side, because I thought it would line up a little bit better. Well, I was wrong. So I shifted it back, and now everything lines up perfectly middle. See, it lines up pretty well. So I'm just gonna, my cut mistake will just be in this area. I'll figure out a way to cover that, but I can live with this. This looks pretty good. I have the holes cut out for my fairlead here, so it kind of looks something like that. It looked pretty good. So now what I gotta do is get some longer bolts for this. Just gonna get some longer bolts, and then I can start wiring it up. And then after I wire it up, we're gonna take out the steel wire and put in the synthetic, and then do the synthetic line conversion. It's time to wire it up pretty much, or at least put this control box on there. So it's pretty simple. There's a few cables coming out of here, and here's a whole wiring diagram. There's labels on them, so it says B, this is D, C, and A. And you just connect them to these right here. The corresponding letters on the winch. There's actually labels on the actual winch itself. And then to mount it, how to mount it, I'll briefly go through this, but I think I want to put the controller on top, or maybe I'll put it on the side. I'm not too sure yet. I guess I'll have to see what looks better. But anyways, you guys will see which one I pick. So I'm just going to get real busy with this and just start wiring this thing up. Alright, so real quick, I'm going to cut in a clip of just this, so if you want to screenshot it. Real quick, I just want to go over the wiring diagram for the in-cap switches. It's a little confusing, and hopefully this chart helps you out. Alright, so we have our in and out momentary switch, our on and off switch that controls the in and out, the battery, and of course the winch. That's all you pretty much need here. So first we're going to go over the on-off switch. This is where it all kind of starts to work here. So you need to draw your 12-volt power from your battery, so you do a 5-amp fuse between that and your switch, just to protect your switch. This whole wiring diagram is off the over the river and through the woods switches. So if you shot from there, then they come with wiring diagrams, but if not, then you can use this one. The way the pins are just particular to over the river and through the woods switches. But anyways. So this is your power in to this switch. Your power out right here goes all the way around to your momentary switch. I made it turn on the lights on the switch. So the in and out, upper and lower, both light up, as well as your power in. So you have 3 wires coming in from that output from the on and off switch. So you have your bottom light, your input for the switch, and your upper light. This pin goes out to the dimmer switch in the Jeep. For the window switches, there's a orange and gray wire that comes out of the window switches, and you splice into that, and that's for your dimmer. So if you turn on your lights and you dim your gauges and stuff, the switches will dim with that. That's for that. These top 2 are for ground. These are just for the lights, and these 2 on the side are for the ground on the momentary switch, just for the lights. Alright, so on your in and out momentary switch, you'll have 2 outputs, one for the in and one for the out. So one is a green wire that goes to the winch, and one is a blue wire that goes to the winch as well. So out of the winch there is 3 wires that comes in from where you connect in your manual controller, the one that comes with the winch, and there's one that is yellow, blue, and brown. These switches change colors at a little pigtail connector, red, green, and blue. So the green and blue ones control the in and out. I forget which one it is, sorry about that. I believe green is in and blue is out, but if not, then you can just switch them up here at the switch and it'll just work fine. Those are the only 2 things you need to do, so you just open up the winch controller box and you splice into these 2 green and blue wires, and then I just ran those wires all the way to the cab where the switch is. At your winch, you'll have a positive that goes to the battery and a negative that goes to the battery, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. It just gets really confusing with the momentary switches. There's a lot of stuff kind of going on, and you can get really lost really quickly. But hopefully that did a good job of describing what's going on, and hopefully it helped you out. Alright, after like 24 hours of working on wiring, I got it to work. I'll cut into a piece where I just talk about how the wiring works. Let me show you guys how it works. So we got out, and then we got in. So we have winch power on, and then we have in, out. Yeah, shut it off. But now we need to take out all the steel rope so we can put in the synthetic stuff. Alright, so this is the synthetic rope I got. It's my tough stuff. So I take off the rope, you just undo this Phillips head. Alright, so we got this rope out here. The rope is being pulled all the way by the ZJ, which is way over there.
That's hooky there, it probably might bend it.
No, that's where most of the stress is going on for the hitch, right?
This is just basically for your safety chain. When you hook the ball here, you put your safety chain.
I guess we're gonna see what happens.
I'm just saying, in case it comes off, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay, so
do I need to pull forward?
yeah, you need to pull forward till it's taut. Alright, that's fine. That's good. So now we are taut. This line is taut. What I'm gonna do is that Jeep is gonna stay there. That's gonna be the anchor point. And I'm just gonna easily wind in the rope here with the winch controller. And I'm gonna set my e-brake so there's a little bit of drag on the truck. And we'll get it winded up. Go slow. Go in. I'm just saying go slow. We had to cut this baby off to get our Factor55 stuff on. So what I'm going to do is just cut right there, and then a cut right there, and then I should be able to take out this piece. Alright, so now that we got that off, we can put on the Factor55 stuff. Alright, so this Factor55 stuff is pretty simple. Just need to take out this pin here. Or the clip, I should say, and this rod comes out. Actually, you know what? Before we put this on the Jeep, we have a rope guard to install. Let's dig into that. This is the rope guard right here. Pretty easy, and you just pick a side. I think I'm gonna put it on this face right here. What you do is you just take off these rubber plates. Then you want to set this puppy in there, just like that. These locator pins are pretty nice. Then you just get these, set them in there. And then you'll get a hammer and then just push these rivets in. So you just take out that seat clip. Okay, I'll set that to the side. Slide this pin out. Slide it back in with your winch line. That's good. Now I'm just going to suck this up and just mount this up like this. So I finally finished the install. It took like 3 days. Hopefully it didn't take too many videos for you guys, maybe 1 or 2. But here it is, final review and things I need to fix. So here it is, the winch here. Smittybilt 9.5 thousand winch. There's a controller box here. Factor55 flat E-link, rope guard, and Haas fairlead. This is the 1.5 inch fairlead. Fits perfectly between the foggies. And then I think this is the rock hard 4x4 license plate bracket, I believe. I don't know. I'll leave a link to all this stuff in the description below. And as you can see, my fog lights don't work anymore. There's just not enough clearance. The fog lights are pretty thick and it just runs into this. There's no way to get a wiring harness back there. So for now, it's just gonna look like this, which is not too bad to me. I really don't even use the fog lights. My headlights are really way too bright anyways. In the cab here, I just have my Otrot switches here, my winch power, turns on the switches in and out. This obviously controls the winch in and the winch out. Pretty sweet. This is also hooked up with a dimmer, so whenever I dim my gauges, that'll also dim. And I just keep my winch controller in my underseat storage. Alright, hey guys, hope you guys enjoyed the install. Hope you guys liked all the parts that I put on here. If there's any suggestions of what I need to add or subtract to this winch setup, let me know. Also comment any questions, concerns, or comments. I do my best to read every comment and respond to them. So do that, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. A lot of big stuff coming in, so CB, ham, stuff like that's going to go in the Jeep in the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that. Like the video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.